Voters in South Carolina head to the polls this Saturday for the state's critical primary. The Democratic candidates have been vying for the black vote, which is expected to make up about 60% of the electorate in that contest. President Trump's campaign announced yesterday they are opening 15 so-called black voices for Trump offices around the country to woo black voters. The president will have a rally there tomorrow in South Carolina. Our national correspondent, Jericka Duncan, spoke to some of the voters there. Jericka, good morning to you. What did they tell you?
Well, we know that President Trump has emphasized for the last few years that he has done a lot for people in the black community, often citing the lowest unemployment numbers for African Americans ever. So we traveled to South Carolina to better understand what some black voters there are feeling.
African American communities have suffered under Democratic control. To those I say the following: what do you have to lose?
President Trump's plea to African American voters began in the summer of 2016, and it has grown even stronger as we approach Election Day.
I have been working to build an unlimited future for African American communities.
Robert Baker, who works as a corporate trainer in the mortgage industry, agrees.
We have, for sure, the lowest African American unemployment in history. When I saw the economy get better, I noticed my 401ks. First thing I said, 401k begins to grow, the stock market is growing.
Tanya Isaac says she's having a different experience. She works part-time as a home health care aide and is on public assistance.
You have an endless cycle of when you get this good job, then your rent goes up, then your food stamps are cut, then your child care is cut.
Adolphus Belk Jr. is a professor of political science and African American studies at Winthrop University in South Carolina.
The gap between white and black homeowners is greater now than it was since before the Fair Housing Act of 1968, when segregation was legal.
What does that say when you look at the big picture of the economy as it relates to black people?
It's one of the reasons why we have to examine multiple indicators of socioeconomic well-being to get a sense of where people really are.
A recent poll found 84% of black voters disapprove of President Trump's job in office. And according to a January Washington Post Ipsos poll, 83% of black Americans believe the president is a racist.
You believe the president has made racist remarks, but you do not believe he is a racist.
I've called white people honky. I ain't racist.
The way that he talks, the way the things that he has said has pushed people to the point that they feel that they can just say and do whatever they want without any repercussions.
Do you think the president's racist?
Yes, I do.
And while Tanya and Robert disagree on who should be president, both say they're concerned about the obvious deep divisions that exist.
You said something interesting about what your 13-year-old daughter said to you.
Yeah.
What did she say that was so concerning?
So we're upstairs talking in the bedroom. I'm letting her know CBS is coming to interview your dad as a African-American Trump supporter. And she says, Daddy, is somebody gonna wanna kill you? We're in a bad place.
When you hear of a young girl concerned about her father because he's expressing how he feels politically, what do you think about that?
It shouldn't be. She shouldn't have to worry. But the sad truth is because of our president, it is a divide.
8% of black voters voted for President Trump in 2016, according to a CBS News exit poll. Robert Baker, who you heard from, was not one of them. He actually called himself a never-ever Trumper who voted for a third-party candidate. Baker says he changed his mind when he saw the positive impact that Trump had on the economy.
I'm glad he's doing well economically.
Yeah,
but as
he
you
is.
saw from the stories earlier this morning, it's not extending to everybody.
And it's not just that one or two things to look at, and that's what Professor Belk was explaining. When you look at home ownership, when you look at wealth disparity, there's still a lot of things that you can't say, oh, everybody's doing much better. And he highlighted that, obviously, in the piece. But it will be interesting because you have more African-American men that also support Trump and fewer African-American women. So,
as always, you always have to go beneath the headline. I think it's very troubling what his daughter was worried about her father, because the children are listening and what they're seeing and what they're thinking. you know, based on what they see out there in the ether, matters.
It does.
Yeah, but that 84% disapproval rating among African Americans is pretty imposing for the president.
Not disapproval, think he's a racist.
So that's 83%.
Oh,
One
sorry.
lower. All right, Jericka, thank you.